In this video, we are going to see how to set up Windows 11 virtual machine on macOS, and once we install the virtual machine, we are going to enable directory sharing so that we can access the files on the host operating system in the Windows virtual machine, as well as we will be able to access the shared directory through the terminal, and we will also have clipboard sharing as well. So we are going to set up the virtual machine and set up the directory and clipboard sharing. So it's going to be a lengthy video. Please watch till the end. Welcome to Pair Programming with Harish. I'm Harish Kanarao. In this video, we are going to look at step-by-step guidance on how to install Windows 11 virtual machine on macOS using an open source tool called UTM. And so we are going to install the UTM and download the ISO file for Windows 11 along with some guest tools which will allow us to do the clipboard sharing and directory sharing between macOS and the Windows virtual machine. So it's going to be a lengthy video with lot of steps and configuration. So please watch the video carefully, as even missing a small step may lead to problematic configuration. So before we begin with the installation, let's look at some of the use case why we want to run Windows virtual machine within a Mac OS. So myself being a developer, I do most of my development on Mac OS or Linux machines on the cloud. However, there are the real world use cases where as a freelancer, I work for various customers or clients, and some organizations they are tightly coupled with Windows ecosystem, wherein I can do the development on Mac OS, but if I have to access the client's tool like Jira or Confluence, which are generally put behind the VPN, and the administrators usually allow the VPN software to be installed only on Windows. So for those use cases, I still do the development on Mac OS, but if I have to access the tools like Jira or Confluence to read the documentation or user stories, then I run the Windows virtual machine and get the assistance from the Windows administrator to get the VPN installed on my virtual machine, and then be able to access the Jira or Confluence or any such tools that's normally used by the business. So that's my personal use case. However, I have seen other situations where some developers they work with Mac or Linux machines, and some development team work with Windows as their operating system, because that could be the organization policy, or the software suppliers organizations might supply only Windows machines. So in those use cases, when we create a development script for macOS or Linux or cloud CI tools, we write shell scripts. However, if we want to offer something similar using a batch script for Windows users, we should be able to try the scripts before we give it to other developers, or if they face any issues and if we are debugging or trying to fix the batch script, having Windows on macOS allows us to run those scripts and see if they work as expected. So those are the use cases. So if you have any similar use case where you want to work on unique style operating system like Mac or Linux and be able to run Windows for any reason, like trying an installer or any Windows specific solution, you will be able to try it out in one single operating system or one single physical machine. So that's the purpose of the video. So I have written a detailed blog post on the step by every step that's involved in doing the setup. So this video is a walkthrough of what I have already captured in the blog. So I'll share the link for my blog in the description of the video. So before we begin, we have to download a few larger files. The first one is the UTM tool itself. Excuse me. So the UTM tool, it's a virtual machine tool for macOS. It's open source, so you can see it on the GitHub. and it's Apache license. So the Apache license is very commercial friendly license, whether we use it for personal use or even if we use it in commercial environments or enterprise environments. There are no restrictions. We can use it both for personal and business use cases. So we have the UTM, so you can download it and you can install it, or you can download it from the Mac App Store, so whichever is convenient for you. So in myself, I have downloaded the UTM installer for Mac, and the other important files are the Windows 11 ISO itself. Just like how we install Windows on a fresh laptop using a ISO image or a DVD, so we got to download it. So if you follow the link, you don't have to log in with Microsoft ID or anything. So if you just go to this link, there are various installation options provided by Microsoft, but for this particular video I am using the third option, which is to select Windows 11 multi-edition ISO for x64 devices. So select it, and then when you click on confirm, you will be able to download the ISO file. So it's a very large one, so please download it upfront. So the size is 7.78 GB. So depending on your internet speed, the download time will vary, but please keep it beforehand before you start any of the steps. And the third thing is the guest tool from the UTM app itself. So if you click on the link, it will download the file called UTM guest tools. So I have got it. So we will come to it once we install the Windows. If we want to enable the clipboard sharing and directory sharing between Windows and macOS, we need to install and set up certain tools called Spice Client, which is all bundled as part of the UTM guest tools. So once you have these three files, the first one is the UTM installer, the second file is the ISO file of the Windows installer, and the UTM guest tools. So once we have it, first install the UTM app as normal. Just double click on the DMG file, or if you have installed it from Mac, you should have the UTM. So once you launch it, click on so now I'm going to place this blog side by side so that I can easily follow it. On this side, let me choose this one. Yeah, so it's side by side now. Let me move away my head. So first thing is to create a new virtual machine. Click on it. You have two options. I will go with virtualize, which is faster. Virtualize, select Windows and set the memory as 122. It's 12 GB of RAM, that's what I give. And based on your max hardware capacity, you can set the cores. You can leave it to default so that the UTM can allocate a safe number of cores, but in my case I'm giving it as 3. I have got i7 processor, but if you have Apple processor with more cores, you can increase it, and also how much power you want to provide to Windows. Depending on your use case, you can give as many cores as you like. So I will go with 3, which keeps the Windows stable, it doesn't crash. So click on continue, and we are installing Windows 10 or higher. So if you are installing older version of Windows, let's say for like Windows XP, for any reason, yeah, you can yeah, feel free to uncheck it, but I'm going to demonstrate Windows 11, and so I have enabled or left the default options. So here you can fetch the latest Windows installer. In my case, I have already downloaded the ISO image, so I click on browse and navigate to the UTM and choose the Windows ISO. Yeah, there it is. Open and tick the install. Yeah, leave the check box as it is. Install driver and spice tools. Click continue. and I'll go with the default options, click continue. So at this point, I am not going to share any directory path. So my objective is to first install the Windows, get it up and running, and then come back to the directory sharing. So for now, I have not I have left the shared directory as empty as it is and clicked on continue. So this is a chance to review the names. So I have given the name as Windows, so I have left all other settings unchanged and save. So um, once we have created the virtual machine, so we click on the Windows. In the first, ensure that Windows 11 ISO is selected, and in the second, if this is not selected, click on browse and choose the UTM guest tool that we have that you might have downloaded. It's a very small file relatively, it's just 127 MB. So select that one, and all the things are same, click on the play button. So fingers crossed. So this is going to be a lengthy installation video. Once this is prompted, oops, I have missed it, so close it again. So there is one key thing. Since we have selected the DVD with the ISO image, when you click on it, there will be a prompt that says press any key to boot from the CD. As you can see, when it's prompted, it's for a very short time, just press the enter key. So that will go into the setup mode. So probably I should highlight this point because this is very important. Once you miss it, it goes into the non-installation mode where it just brings up a shell. So I'm going to pause the video quite often because it's going to take a long time for the installation to complete. So rather than dragging the video, I'm going to pause and resume. So as you can see, the Windows setup has popped up. So language to install based on my region, I am choosing English United Kingdom, and time and currency format as my regional setting. Click next. So setting the keyboard as United Kingdom to match my physical keyboard. So the next thing, very important thing, is the product key. So the reason is because Microsoft legally allows you to install uh, one virtual one Windows machine without the product key. So if you have product key, you can install as many Windows virtual machine as you want. But in my case, don't have a product key, but I'm going to click I don't have a product key. In case if you have a product key, if you have purchased it, you can put in your product key, but still it's legal to install Windows without a product key. The condition is that you can look through the terms and conditions. So you can have one physical machine of Windows, or if you are running it as a virtual machine, you can have one Windows machine without the product key. So that's allowed. So I'm going to click on I don't have a product key, and I'm going to choose the Windows 11 home option, the most basic one. Next. So we have the Microsoft terms and conditions, and I'm sure definitely it's mentioned here that if you don't have a product key, you are allowed to install only one instance of Windows, otherwise you are in breach of agreement with Microsoft. So I click on accept. So I haven't entered into full screen or wide enough to match my screen. So I will go with all the defaults. Disk 0 unallocated space, so 64 GB is the value that we had chosen initially during the VM setup. So I click on next, and from this point it's going to take longer to do the installation. So don't click on the cancel, just leave it still, and I'm going to pause the video for now. Okay, so so I think the screen just flashed, so it straight away went from 85% to all done. So once the installation is complete, please do not press any key, because if you do press the key, it will once again go into the installation mode. So we are halfway through the installation, so whenever it restarts, until we disconnect the ISO image, we should not boot it from the CD once again. So as you can see, it gradually progressed, and we are in this step now, where step number 20, where we were waiting for the installation to complete and the restart had happened. And after the restart, once again it goes into further installation. So we will pause the video for now, and we will come back to it once again. So the second restart has happened now. So this is the third restart. So every time when it restarts, after the first time, we should not press any key, otherwise it goes into the boot mode. So we are in step 21 yet, so it's still doing the command line installation on its own. So I think it's about to enter into a GUI mode. So the screen looks smaller, but once the installation is complete, we will be able to make use of the full screen, um, like a regular Mac app. So finally we are in step 22, where it comes into the GUI mode. So for my installation, I'm choosing my local region as United Kingdom.
To set up your device using a screen reader, turn on narrator by pressing Windows and Control and Enter.
Oops,
For more accessibility
announcement from Windows. And choosing my right keyboard based on my physical keyboard, United Kingdom, skip, and once again it will go for a restart. We are on step 25. So this part is going to take longer, checking for updates, because every time when I did the installation, it tries to download the most recent update from Microsoft. Yes, it says sit back and relax while the magic happens, so just wait for it. You need lots of patience when you work with the Microsoft products, most of them. It is thanking for our patience. So it's suggesting that there will be again a restart. So I think that's the final restart before we start entering our account or setting up our account. Yeah, so the restart is happening now. So after this restart, we have to set up the username and password for our Windows. So yeah, there was a restart now. So again, we should not press any key, just leave it to boot. We are in the middle of the installation. More updates underway. So it's about to start the Windows operating system. Finally, we have the Windows setup. Okay, so um, so we have to give a username, and apparently this name happens to be the username of the Windows itself. So I'm going to type Windows as my username, but you can choose any name like you want, or you can give your own name and password. As always, make sure you put a strong password and retype your password. And we need to choose security questions, 3 security questions. So I'm going to pause the video now because I don't want to reveal my security question and the answer. So I had selected all 3 security questions and given my personal answers to those security questions. So it's going further now. So when it goes further, it again pulls more update. Yeah, as you can see, checking for Windows Update. This is one of the longest step during the installation because it downloads huge amount of data or files from the Microsoft servers. So this is going to take a longer time depending on your internet speed. As you can see, it is downloading the update file, and based on the progress, this seems to be a really large file. So once again, you have to be more patient now. So now the download is completed. It's doing the second step of installation, and yeah, again this is going to take 5 to 10 minutes. The installation has reached 91%, so still 8 more to go. It's 92 now. Okay, so it's 100% done, and there is going to be a restart, and that's going to be the final restart, after which the Windows will start normally. As you can see, the last step is to restart. So this was the lengthiest step, and now after the restart it's just going to start as normal. But one note of caution, when it restarts, don't press any key because again it goes to the very first step of starting the installation. Yeah, there was another restart. I think all the restarts are done now. So we are about to see the Windows operating system. More updates on our way. Yeah, there were numerous restarts, and hopefully this is going to be the last restart. Looks like there are more updates to install. So we are almost there. It's 96% complete. So we are almost there. So finally we are here. We can see the Windows has started. So we can log in now, and at this point we can expand it to full screen. The resolution is a bit not so great, but we will come to that now. So for now, let's keep it small. And since we are on the Mac OS, we don't normally have the Control Alt Delete key. So instead with UTM, if we click anywhere, we can click anywhere, and it brings up the password prompt. So whatever password that we had set, we can type it in and press enter. Fingers crossed. Hope everything should work fine. Welcome to Windows Virtual Machine. Yes, finally we got the Windows logged in. Nice. So at this point, the Windows setup is complete. What we are going to do now is to enable the clipboard sharing and the directory sharing. That's the very last step, and then we are done. So the first thing to do is, so it's giving the installer, but for any reason if you don't get the installer proper, so simply go to Files Explorer and navigate to the CD drive. So we have got two CD drives, one with Windows and one with UTM guest tools as we had mounted. So within the UTM guest tools, we can see the installer UTM guest tool. So launch it by double clicking on it, and then you see the installer. Click on next, read the license agreement, agree it, and wait for it to finish. And once this is done, we can turn off the windows, and then you should be able to share the directory. Installation is almost done. And once it is completed, you can see that there was a bit of resize because now we can maximize it. But let's finish all the installation first before we do those screen resolution adjustments. Yes, the guest tool setup is completed. Let's finish it. And now we have to switch off the Windows menu, power button, shutdown. So here the key thing is, once it is switched off, we have to once again go back to the VM configuration and select what is the host operating system's directory that we want to share with the guest operating system. So the Windows is fully shut down now. So now let's close the Windows pop-up and click on the Windows VM configuration and right click and edit. So you can go to the sharing, and in the sharing ensure that the clipboard sharing is checked, and the shared directory type is Spice Web Dev, and we can choose any directory that we want to share. Let me choose the downloads directory itself and save it. So now let me restart the Windows. So hopefully no more updates. So Windows is about to start. So at this point Windows is fully set up, so you can click anywhere and it brings up the password prompt. So once we log in, we should be able to copy paste the clipboard. So let's try that quickly. The first thing is to test the clipboard sharing. Copy, open the Edge browser. So we will come to the screen resolution part, but for now let's finish the setup and start without your data. Don't allow. Continue. Come on. Okay. So I had copied the blog's URL. So right click. Oops. Right click. Paste. Yeah, you can see that the thing is working, and let's try from the guest to the host, and it's working as well. So the clipboard sharing is working. The next thing to try is the directory sharing. If I open the files explorer, by default there should be a drive. If I expand this PC and oh yeah, so it's mapped as a network drive Z. So when I wrote the blog it was Y, but whereas now it's mapped to Z, and you can see that whatever file that I have in my host operating system, I can see it there, and it's bidirectional. So so yeah, the network drive can vary, but that is the drive that has the sharing. So uh, let's in for any reason, if you can't see the network drive, simply go to the C programs files. So C program files and spice web DAW. So this is, if you don't see it, simply go to this directly and launch it, and yeah, you can see that the spice client is available. So if you don't see the network drive, just go to the program file spice web DAW and then run the map drive, and then we should see it. And if you want to access it through the terminal, simply go to terminal app and type, come on, oops, let me do that again. Terminal, wait for it to, yeah. So now if I go there and do ls, yes, I can access the files and folder from the host operating system in my terminal. So at this point, let's do the maximize. Window fill. As you can see, the windows got readjusted, and now I'm able to make use of my full screen size without any issues, and the resolution looks completely normal. So that completes the setup, but there is one final part of the setup, which is, once it is all done, we have to unmount their disk. So what we have to do is go to the windows. You can see the disk drive image options at the very top. Click on it. You can see the Windows installation and guest operating system both are still mounted. So simply do the eject and eject. All done. So you have completely fully functional Windows virtual machine on your MacBook, and feel free to install any other tools that you want on Windows. Thanks for watching.